least expected to be. That might like having Aaron Rodgers as your QB. I see how Devontae Adams did. I've seen how other wide receivers have thrived with that. So that's why I'm expecting him to play well. But again, you say he should be on the bench. So that's what kind of hit me. I was like, oh, that spoke volumes to me. That's like
okay. So to elaborate a little more, I mean, if you think about last year, I mean, you had that stretch where I think his name was Robert Tonyan, the tight end. I mean, he was just scoring over and over again. So if you have Devontae Adams drawing the double team probably every play, the next read is usually wide receiver number 2, maybe wide receiver number 3. But instead it's going, a lot of these plays going to the tight end. That's showing that you might have a skill gap, you know what I mean, that's not being filled there. To where you got to look for your safety valve, i.e. Robert Tonyan. I'm not saying that Allen Lazard. I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do. But I'm just saying those coaches, they know way better than we do. They look at him in the preseason, the off season. You know what I'm saying? All sorts of different ways they evaluate these guys. And so, you know what I mean. Now that you're in a situation where you're forcing him to be something that you probably know he isn't, and then you're trying to just live with the results. I mean, just look at last week.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, he didn't play last week, so I don't want to blame last week on him. Maybe if he's on the field, maybe they score a little bit more. You have a little more trust for Aaron Rodgers. Like I think at least early on, there might be a case for Allen Lazard to be a starter just because it's a new team. He's the one wide receiver that Aaron Rodgers might trust the most coming out the gate. But to be fair, too, though, he would be taking on that Devontae Adams role, which, like you mentioned, he'll get those double teams. So it'll be interesting to see how he does against those double teams now, getting more focus on them because when you don't have a lot of focus on you, it is easier to produce. So having that be that wide receiver number 2 or number 3, and you also got to factor in the tight end having some factor as well. You do have less, I guess, pressure on you. So there, I hear you on that. He might have a higher, I guess, he might have a higher role on this team, but that production too, you got to see if he'll be able to produce. So I at least get that.